So yeah, I hadn't had the opportunity to meet with, or work with a lot of you guys, Mickle and the Franks boys, not Jace. He was, I think, being considered as a cow before I left. So while you guys are doing that, and she's collecting, I'm gonna put that right there for you. This is kind of a quick backstory of who I am, I guess, and how I started Chick-fil-A. So next month, oh my gosh, 9 years, I guess thinking about it now. So I started Chick-fil-A in August 2009, and I started in a mall store in Northgate. So you guys probably didn't know there's Chick-fil-A there, right? So there was an incredible opportunity. That store was closing down, and I had the opportunity. Danny Franks is dancing in the window. I had an incredible opportunity in front of me. I had different stores I could have went and worked for. Sammy Culberson in Chapel Hill. I can't even think of the guy's name now, which is terrible, but he used to be, is he still at South Point?
Daniel?
Is he still there? So Daniel, so he was kind of recruiting me a little bit. But because of Northgate always borrowing stuff from Roxborough Road, because we were always running out of stuff, I actually kind of just, there's a relationship that formed between Matt and I. And so Matt, even today, Matt and I text a lot, and we talk about life. And I got kids before he had, so he talks about like, what do you do with this, and stuff, and it's really cool. So I'm incredibly grateful for the opportunity to have worked under Tony and become friends with a lot of folks that, even like Austin he's at my church a couple of weeks ago, so it's really good to see him there. And so I moved back in 2015 to High Point to be a part of a church plant, something I was very passionate about, still am today. So started with Chick-fil-A, August 2009. Started working for Tony back in, I think it was February 2012, and I was there all the way until July 2015. And it was kind of a weird transition for me because I'm a mall kid, had no experience whatsoever in drive-thru, but I was like, I don't know what it was, but it was very, very attractive to me. And I think it was because at first I just liked the hype of it, like how fast it was. I am still today. I like it. I like the results immediately. And Tony probably had a lot to do with that because results matter always. And so I think that's kind of like why I was so drawn to it. I think, and when I left, you guys are probably gonna laugh now, but when I left, I think the record was 193. I think so. That was a long time ago.
We were stuck there for a while.
Yeah, it's a long time ago, and I didn't even bag it. This was before you guys were. I don't know if you do one bagger now. I don't know what. Okay, I see you. That was. I think I bagged the record of 189 by myself, and it was one of those things where like, okay, I gotta stop trying to do this by myself. I need some more help. So, and we had an incredible team then, and you guys are doing incredible things now. So I'm saying all this while she's writing this to kind of give you some praise, because a lot of stores, when Will McFadden, I know you guys probably know his name, Tony and Jacob, when we had a drive-through, a meet up a couple of months, probably a month ago, he was talking about drive-throughs being aggressive. And the first story he said was, I know Tony Fernandez over at Roxborough Road in Durham. And my operator looked at me and said, that's where Anthony's from. And so it's really cool to hear you guys' name. And obviously I'm very grateful to be here today, man. So I appreciate the invite. So let's go through a little bit while she's writing. So what does it mean? Does that say, times two, that's somebody, so more than one person said that? Okay, perfect, cool. So what does it mean to wildly guess? What does it look like? Go above and beyond. So 2 people said that. Serve them. Smile, speed, attentive, serve. I said 3 words or less, but somebody went above. That's okay. You go above expectations, amaze them with service, impress them, surprise the guests, do the unexpected. I'm trying to give you a little bit of time to write, but that's it. Go above expectations. All right, second mile service, that's a good one.
Unbelievable experience.
What's up, buddy? You're a soccer player in the house?
All right.
They said extra mile, so I'm gonna do times 2.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Well, we're getting them up there, I'm gonna talk about this really fast. So thinking back before being a team member, who remembers why they ate at Chick-fil-A? Anybody? Just before you became a team member.
It was good.
It was good. What was good?
The food.
The food was
And
good,
the service.
and the service was good. Now you don't have to say, was it Roxford Road or was it somewhere else?
Yeah.
It was Roxford Road? Okay. Anybody else? Why did you eat at Chick-fil-A? It's always inviting. Okay, very good. Anybody have like a favorite thing that you still eat today that like before you became a team member, like this is why I started coming. The chicken sandwich?
Oh, yeah.
Original. Oh gee, okay, I got you. All right.
Number 3, 8 count.
The number 3 8 count. Used to be the number
5.
Good job. All right. Right. That's it shows the time there. And at that time, did you always prefer Chick-fil-A over other restaurants? Don't lie, 'cause I know some of you like Cookout. Don't try to play.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, I remember, working with Jacob, and he would always say stuff like, "Man, Cookout's better," and I'm getting you in trouble in hot water right now. But even like working like for us, he would say, "Man, like." Especially the milkshakes, right? He would always say Cookout milkshakes are better. And I'm thinking like, dude, you burn more calories trying to get it through a straw than you get inside of the thing. So no, Chick-fil-A milkshakes
It's a
are
workout
always
while you're
better.
eating milkshakes.
I guess, maybe so. All right, so let's think back. I want you guys to think back. So we've talked about why you ate at Chick-fil-A, good food, good service. But why did you become a team member?
Now go and say it out loud.
Go ahead.
Okay, well, my friend, kind of made me, and I didn't even want a job, but then I liked it, so.
Okay. Did anybody like see something when you came to the restaurant and you were just kind of like, I want to be a part of this? Anybody like that at all? You were? Okay.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, like I was honestly just looking for a job when I came to Chick-fil-A. I used to sell insurance for Aflac. And that's kind of like, yep, there you go. And so I had just gotten married in March 2009, and I was working for Aflac, selling insurance. I did okay, but I didn't like the feeling of having to go door to door and I feel like I was ambushing people as they were walking to their car and they were running for me because they go, that's the Aflac guy, and so I looked on Monsters, what am I talking about? MonsterJobs.com, I think it was something like that then. And Northgate was in a transition, and I just so happened to get into a role there, which is again an incredible opportunity. But I quickly learned something about Chick-fil-A, and I'm going to kind of talk about a couple of different things. We're going to talk about something I'm actually very passionate about, and that is culture. Culture is everything. And I kind of have a blog right now called, leadtheculture.com. But the thing that I think about the most, like when John Maxwell says everything rises and falls on, what is everything? I just said it.
Everything. Culture.
It's culture. It is. The reason why guests keep coming to your restaurant is because of your culture. They keep coming back because the team is great, the food is great. Even when I'm on vacation, my wife thinks I'm incredibly weird, but I eat Chick-fil-A when I'm on vacation. I still crave it on Sundays, and obviously we're not open. I still have the keys to both stores. I could go and cook my own chicken if I wanted to, but that's not besides the point. So it's all about culture. I'm gonna kind of jump around a little bit, but simply put, it's culture. It's the team, right? That makes the workplace fun, exciting, and makes you want to return. So why would it be any different for our guests, right? So if you're saying as a team member, you're excited. Is anybody, honestly, are you excited to go to work? Do you like anybody? Nobody? Sorry, Tony, I'm kind of putting people on.
No, they've been texting me telling me they miss it, so.
Like, for an example, if you look on your setup and you see that your name is not in drive-through, how disappointed are you?
Oh,
Very.
And I think we back when I was doing it, people in the front counter, they would get so mad that I was still this person to put them in drive-through, or I was still this person to put them in drive-through. And I think even Austin, where Stephen was also with you guys, and he's like, man, you guys always steal the best people and put them in drive-through. I was like, yeah. Right? So it was important. And we had records to break. I had Tony breathing down my neck, like, let's go every single day. And there was moments with, being in a store that I mean, it was tough. Tony is a tough guy to work for, but it is because he wants to be better than he was yesterday. And he was just talking about that. And so it's just that the relentless pursuit of excellence. And I'm not talking about that. I'm kind of getting around to it. So how do we wow the guests? We can look at some of this stuff right here. Make their day. We're going to talk about that in just a second because I believe that's a huge one. Unbelievable experience. We have a remarkable experience. We got a few examples here. We can remember the guest's name. Some of you guys right now can, when a person walks in, you know their name, you know their order, right? You know how much ice to put in their cup. 3 cubes, not 4, because it's excessive. I don't want that, right? You know stuff like that. What about when we mess up? What do? We hand out BOGs, right? Sorry we goofed them, so sorry. We missed that. You got a cold fry, hopefully not. You guys are about to have 2 fry shoots now, so you shouldn't have any cold fries, right? Or we can perform at high speeds, maybe right around 240 cars. That's super impressive, all right? Because there's still a lot of stores that from 12 to 1 that are doing 100 cars. When our team, I try not to rub in their face like I came from a store that's doing 240 guys. Like, what are you doing? But when they hit 180, they feel really good about themselves. So again, I'm not. When you guys hitting 230, I don't want Tony to hear the wrong thing. I'm not saying that's like don't settle for that. Go bigger. Go bigger. But I also want you to think about it too. There's other stores that would love the opportunity. That would love your parking lot. They would love the setup that you guys have. They would love an operator that says, you know what, I believe in this so much, I'm going to invest in it. And I think that was the biggest thing for Tony. He gave us room to fail. I'm sure he still does the same thing now. He gave us the opportunity to just try something. If you fail, you're learning from it. It goes back to what he did, the graph, the learning curves and things like that. Show them that you're ready to serve them no matter the weather. Going out in the rain, ruining card swipes, we do that all the time, right? Has that happened, by the way? You guys got the tamper issue with when you get water? Yeah, so that's terrible. But I remember, again, I think I was at home one day on my day off, and it was like a blizzard outside, and I'm texting Jacob right when we were closing, and we broke the money record. I think it was at the time it was $1,300, something like that, and we did it was like a huge amount, 15. We went way over. I don't even know what your money record is right now. Does anybody know that?
For what thing?
The money 12 to 1?
123 something.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, that's crazy. That's what we do in an hour. So the whole story. But I think the way we wow the guests in the absolute best fashion is to do this. Number one, and Danny covered pretty much everything I'm going to talk about, so I'm just going to get a recap, basically. The first thing to do is love your team. There's a book out by Joel Manby called Love Works, and he talks about how, as leaders, and honestly, and I don't know if Jacob talks to you guys like this, but I talked to him like this when he was under me. To me, people that are in that drive-thru and serving every day, you guys are leaders of that store because you are more than 60% of the business. And I think that I always thought that leaders were made in drive-thru because they saw results, they wanted results, they were hungry. And if honestly, I'm just going to be straight, just blunt. If they didn't want that, they didn't belong in my drive-thru. And even today in the 2 stores that I'm over, if someone is you can just tell they're stagnant, they're complacent, they don't want to they're not pushing. Dude, get that guy out of here. Get somebody else in here that wants to do something to make things happen. But Joel Manby, going back to the book, Joel Manby talks about how, as leaders in your business, the first thing you got to do is love your team. And what does that do for you? So now, first, let's talk about the word love. Okay, I'm not talking about the feely, weird stuff that you may have with a boyfriend or fiance or a husband or wife. I'm talking about actually asking how people's day, how their week's been going, how their day is. Hey, how's your family? sitting down on their, when they're on break and you just taking the time and you don't have any people in front counter and maybe have one car and drive through, right? And just go into their table and say, hey man, how's it going? Hey, how's school going? I know like you're worried about that test last week, And I know, again, we're not talking about guests yet, but I'm gonna show you how this happens. Because I'm being intentional about a relationship, forming a relationship with one of my coworkers. What I'm doing is this person is now trusting me, right? Or I'm investing, again, I'm kind of investing what some people would say an emotional investment. I'm putting something into you because I'm showing you that I care about you. What happens is the next day, that person is going to be looking for me when they come back to work, which means they're looking forward to coming to work, right? So if Tony was, oh gosh, this is probably a terrible example, sorry, but Adolf Hitler, you wouldn't want to work for that, right? Like, it was like, no, he's a dictator, I don't want to be, first thing he would have to grow a mustache, and that would be incredibly weird that Tony had a mustache, right? But honestly, like, no one wants to work for a dictator. For me, honestly, I want to work for someone who believes in me, right? Right? Is anybody on that? And then wants the best for the community. And that you have the perfect operator, because that's Tony. Ever since I've been working where I was working for him, then he always talked about influencing the community, and it wasn't like getting his name out there. He just wanted to be a positive influence in the community. And so again, going back to what I was saying is, when you invest in people like that, they want to come and they want to work for you. And what happens is that the culture goes to a whole new level. And here's the crazy thing about culture: you can feel it when you walk in. You know what I'm talking about? When you first walk into that threshold of the restaurant, and you feel like, it's almost like you feel like, oh man, I'm home. Right? Does anybody else, you probably spend more time with the people at work than you do in your own home. I know I do. But it's that feeling when you first walk in the door, right, or pull into a parking lot. Some of you guys are probably stuck in a parking lot, looking for trash. Hopefully, they can make sure the parking lot looks good because you care about it. And what Joel Manley was saying in Love Works is basically this. When you love on your team will love to come to work, and your guests will love to come there because they can tell that your team is happy. It's easy. So the first thing, and I know, and I actually had an opportunity to speak at a Goodwill conference a couple of months ago, and I'm telling you, the weirdest looks I got when I said the customer is not first. They're like, I'm sorry? You're Chick-fil-A, you guys are all about customer service, To me, the team is first. And I think for you guys, it should be the exact same way. Always have the person beside you, have their back. And what happens is with that, then it pours over into the guests. It's that culture we're just talking about. Of course, then it goes, secondly, love your guests. So I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to dive deep into that. Do you guys still see the video when you come on Every Life Has a Story? Everybody seen that? Who's not seen Every Life Has a Story? Okay, perfect, great. So, it goes through the video. It gives you a description of this person has this going on. This person has this something great. They graduated from, or they got accepted to the College of their Dreams. Trying to think of all the other ones, things like that. I'm gonna share with you guys some real stuff. Like, this is like for real, because I'm gonna show you how I would say for me personally, wow, the guest looks. So my wife, we've been married for 9 years back in March. So again, same year as Chick-fil-A. And her grandpa passed away, I want to say maybe in the year before we moved to High Point. Her grandparents live in Archdale, which is basically a suburb right outside of High Point. And I had no idea that her grandpa, her papa, as she called him, her papa and her nana, went to eat at this restaurant, which is the same restaurant that's actually been torn down right now because they're getting remodeled. And when he passed away, for sometimes even now, but weeks on weeks on weeks, she would come back to this place because when he was alive, before he got diagnosed with leukemia, he would every day, I'm kidding you not, every day, Monday through Saturday, he would come to that restaurant, get a senior coffee, because old people have to get a senior coffee, right? And a chicken biscuit. Every single day, he would do that. When he passed away, Nana would come back for sometimes she would come back every day, sometimes twice, 2-3 times a week. She would come back, and I would ask her, I would see her there. This is after I started working there too, and she said, it just reminds me of George. And it's incredible to think that like some of the people that worked there when he was alive would knew the situation, and they would say, hey Miss Pat, how are you doing? Things like that. What I'm telling you is it wasn't the senior coffee, it wasn't the chicken biscuit that he would talk about. He knew I worked for Chick-fil-A, and he said, man, I just love that one down there. People are so nice. If they get it wrong, they make it right. And that's the story. Even with Nana coming in there, now it's gonna be a little different because she's coming to a brand new restaurant when it opens back up. But even so, she came to that restaurant because it reminded her of her husband. She could have went anywhere else. She could have went to the K&S down the road where they also ate lunch every day, But Chick-fil-A every single day. That's a story. Another one, and I'll share this one with Jacob because I was asking if he remembered it. There was one night, I think I was working an 11-8 shift, in the drive-thru, I was bagging, and Kelsey Cole, I don't know if you guys remember her, some of you guys may or may not. She was on the window, and she looked at me and she said, "This lady is really upset. Can I take care of this meal?" I was like, "Yeah." I was kind of peeked real first, like, "Is she really upset?" I gotta make sure. But this woman was like, she was bawling. She was really upset. Her sister was driving, and she was in the passenger side. And it was a crazy amount. I think it was like $27. Again, I'm sorry, Tony. So, but we did it because, she asked because she felt compassion on this lady. And I was like, absolutely. If you feel like that's what you need to do, then do it. And literally, as soon as they pulled off, probably about 3 minutes in, we get a phone call. And she didn't talk to me. I don't know who it was she talked to, but she came to me and said, or the person came to me and relayed the message and said, "You have no idea what you just did. My sister's husband just passed away. And just by doing that, you made things like really good." And so like make their day. That's to me, that's one of the greatest things you can do. But you have to remember that, listen, every life truly has a story. Behind the counter and in front of that counter. And so it is important as a team member, as a leader, as a person who wears this Chick-fil-A name tag, honestly, inside and outside of the store. Even when I'm out of uniform, I'm holding a door and I say my pleasure, and someone says, "You must work at Chick-fil-A." Yes, ma'am, I sure do. But everywhere I go, like it's ingrained into me to like I want to serve someone. And so, we're going to be talking a little bit. Matt asked me to share some things about nourishing, like how you guys nourish dreams as the statement. And I'm going to continue to go on here as well. One of the things is that Jacob was saying, how do you see this outside of work or outside of Chick-fil-A, outside of CFA Rocks? The opportunity to, I think Chick-fil-A in itself has helped me, especially that video, that the people are really important. Danny shared it kind of earlier, and I'm going to touch on it again. If we view people as people and not transactions, then you have a different mindset than a lot of retail. A lot. McDonald's has great systems. And it may not seem like it because if you eat there, you may have to wait in the drive-thru a little bit. But their systems are incredible, and they've got the funding to make systems even better. But the difference between McDonald's and Chick-fil-A, and you probably already know this, is the people. It's the culture inside that place. When you walk into McDonald's, the first thing you're gonna get is a grumpy, like, there's a video going out, I think it's pretty hilarious, you probably may have seen it, but she's like, go ahead, at the speaker. And then the Chick-fil-A lady's like, how you doing, beautiful? It's a beautiful 83 degrees out, It's a completely different culture. and I'm going back to what I'm saying is that people are not transactions. And I was going to talk about outside of Chick-fil-A. So leaving CFA Rocks, I moved down to High Point and jumped right into the drive-through there. And just the first day there, I'll tell you, I'll be honest, I think we did 126 cars that day, my first day there. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I quickly found out that, I guess the operator at the time, he just didn't want to invest in this system quite yet. So you couldn't go outside without pass because we didn't have the outside antennas. We could not have an outside drawer because this is when Chick-fil-A corporate says you can't have any kind of, Ethernet jacks outside the store or anything like that because of security breach. I think Target had just gotten breached or something like that. So they were like, no drilling on the outside, nothing like that. But I think what I was going to say is that the second day, just by implementing a small system, we went from 126 cars to 150 the very next day, just by implementing a small system. And I think it kind of goes back to what Tony was saying, just like that, an excellence mindset. Like you see something, if you see a need, like just make it right right then. Don't wait on it. You know what I mean? And obviously that in a sense while I was a guest, but moving to High Point and being a part of the church, Piedmont Chapel, where we're at right now. One of the things that we say all the time is that when we have someone brand new coming to our church, they are not a visitor. They are a guest. And that's the exact same way that we should feel like when we see someone that comes into as a customer. They're not customers. They're not visitors. They're guests. They are people in your home. And that's why, like, it's, when we greet someone on the front counter, we don't say, is this for here to go? We say, are you dining in today? Because we want them to say, we want you to feel like you are welcomed here. Like we want you to be a part, right? So, again, going back to culture, wowing the guests, and I'm going to kind of wrap up, and I guess I'll share what Matt was saying, Tony, if you want me to as well. It's not so much about what you can do. It's not so much what people can do for you, but it's what you can do for people. At the end of the day, culture is the most important thing. I honestly believe that, because you feel it, your guests can feel it, but the most important thing is like you can change culture just by smiling at someone. You can, or change their day. You can. I mean, I remember Tony talking about it all the time. Was what he's like, go to tone setters. I don't know if you still use that now, but tone setters. What is the tone of the store? He would come in, and this is when we had balloons. He'd walk in the door. First thing he would look for is if the balloons were inflated or not. Do you remember that? Mm-hmm. And he said, if that's not inflated, I guarantee the ice bin's empty. And if the ice bin's empty, I guarantee the trash can's full. Does he still do this now? I mean,
yes.
Okay.
I had to skip the balloons, but we just
You
get
think that's
into
too
it.
expensive?
And he looks at the lights. That light's out. How long has that been out? I can't believe you hadn't changed it yet. But at the end of the day, it is not because he's not like picking at you, or yes, it's a mindset of excellence, but it's also like, I kind of have a reputation to uphold here, and you should too. The ownership that Tony feels every single day, you should feel the exact same ownership, because it is your store. And if it wasn't your store, you wouldn't be working there, and he wouldn't invest in you. So wowing the guest is bigger than what you think it is. It is all these things. It is, but it's more than that. So kind of transitioning, because I'm not going to take a lot of time. Again, your dad went over a lot of stuff, so I'm not going to recap everything. So Matt asked me to talk about the statement, "We nourish dreams." Again, going back to January 2012, stepping into Roxborough Road. I had a lot of them at High Point. I'm just telling you straight up. I would not have them without Tony, Roxborough Road, because he pushed me further than I wanted to be pushed a lot of the time. And I remember sitting in the office a couple times, and one specifically when I didn't even know like Oracle even existed. You probably know exactly where I'm going with this. he literally said, your job's on the line. And luckily for you, we're doing better than what I think we are. And so he pulls up Oracle and we're like, I think top 40% in the nation. I was like, oh my God, thank you, Jesus. But he literally, he's like, I was just, you know, I don't want to say you were going to like fire me, but it was like you were definitely pulled from that position and you're never going to do it again. You're going to go do diamond for the rest of your life. But it was I mean, again, there were a bunch of just hard conversations Tony had for me or with me. What he said a little while ago, and he says, I see a lot of potential in you. I had a lot of those conversations. He said, and of course you said, they didn't feel good right here. I had a lot of those moments. And I feel like I was honestly a child, you know, and Tony kind of raised me up in a sort of way. So he's definitely an incredible mentor. And so if he has the time, because he's not going to say yes to everybody all the time, you need to sit down with him and really just and pick his brain on, like, you know, maybe you don't want to be a Chick-fil-A operator, or maybe, you know, but there's some areas in his life that he can coach you on. It's the same as Matt. And the two things that have helped me the most, absolute most, besides the whole like becoming a leader and pushing me to read and I guess my ignorance of thinking, and of course I'm not trying to offend anybody, that the Bible was the only book I needed to read. I know you knew that
I remember that conversation. I was proud that you led off with John Maxwell.
Yeah, there you go. But he just like, you know, I think the combination you said, like, if you can eat right and exercise, do it. But if you can eat right, just eat right. Or if you don't have time to exercise. And that was kind of what he was saying, like, that's the Bible, so you always should eat right, kind of thing. But obviously, the mentorship and leadership and like reading and working out, still struggle with that one. So, but the two things that helped me the most, and I guess I'm talking about how Chick-fil-A, Roxborough Road nourished my dreams, was really talking about time management. And honestly, I guess time management and finance together, because we had a lot of those conversations. And really just being intentional. That was the other thing. Because I think that was something I always struggle with too, or being consistent and being consistently intentional. You know. Again, I kind of showed a little while ago that one of my hopes and one of my passions and dreams, I guess, was to be a part of a church plant. And so when I saw the opportunity. I kind of felt like where I was in my life with my family and two little girls, that I was not spiritually growing. And where I feel like what I was learning from Roxborough Road, I was basically investing into the church. And I kind of felt like it needed to be the other way around. And so, as painful as it was, my last day with Tony and the team, it was very emotional. I've never cried so much in my life, because I view, and even though I don't know you guys, I still view Chick-fil-A Roxborough Road as a family, more so. And I know, I hope you're not gonna post this on like Facebook or anything. Show it to my other team. But these guys that I work for now, they're great. They're awesome. And I do consider them somewhat like family. But there's something about Chick-fil-A and Roxborough Road that I always come back to, always reflect on, and a lot of things that I learned. But going back to what I was saying is those couple of things that I learned helped me to become who I am today. When I walked out of that store, there was no regret. I feel like Tony honestly sent me and said, everything that you learned, I want you to pass it on. And to this day, everything that I've learned from Tony and all the leaders at Roxborough Road, I have invested it 100%. There's probably some more I can probably do, but I've invested 100% in both of the locations that we're at right now. Not only that, which is the dream job I was talking about, tomorrow, 4 weeks ago, it was announced that I'm going to be the first campus pastor at Piedmont Chapel. And so it is incredible. It's an incredible feeling. Sometimes I feel a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for?
Fake it till you make it.
Unqualified. Fake it till I make it, yes. But I think, again, it goes back, I mean, I'm not saying this to kind of puff up, Tony in the store. But I honestly think that without Roxborough Road and Tony, I don't think I would be where I am today. So I'm telling you guys, Whether you want to be a Chick-fil-A operator, whether you want to be a campus pastor one day, whether you want to be whatever it is, the stuff that you're learning today will carry on to tomorrow. I promise you, I promise you, I promise you. And that is, I feel like that is Tony's heart. It's not to make a profit every day, even though that's nice, but it's to invest in you guys so that you can invest in other places and people, basically influence. So that's pretty much it. Thank you guys.
Sir.